Okay, good morning on this Wednesday in the fifth week of Lent. Like I said, we had a little break yesterday with the Solemnity of St. Joseph. A good break, in the sense that St. Joseph is a great saint to have devotion to and to pray to. But just kind of pick up where we left off on Monday. Chapter 8 in John's Gospel begins with the famous woman caught in adultery, and Jesus is saying, he who's without sin cast the first stone. And then in John's Gospel, what follows that is a Gospel reading we'll probably get in the Easter season, when Jesus exclaims that he's the light of the world. And that would have been followed by what would have been yesterday's Gospel, if it wasn't for the Feast of St. Joseph, about where Jesus is heading, that he's going to the Father. And that added even more controversy. The Pharisees saying, what are you going to kill yourself? What are you talking about here? Which again leads into today's Gospel, John chapter 8, verse 30 to about 34. Again, a Gospel reading that I read yesterday during my little session on the 7 deadly sins, because Jesus speaks about slavery to sin. Yesterday we covered 3 of the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, lust, and avarice or greed. And all those sins deal with the sins of passion, of our desires, of our bodily functions. We, as part of our body, we hunger, we have a desire to procreate, to give life. And then we have this irrational desire for greed and possessions. But all those things, those 3 things especially, we're slaves to them because we can't say no to them, even when we know that these things could hurt us. We know that too much food, too much drink will eventually lead to misery. Whether physically we're sick, those types of things. Even with lust, there's always that sense of loneliness, shame, and guilt when we fall into that sin. And again, it's a sin that often people cannot say no to. And so now the Son talks about setting us free. That when you're a slave, you can't be set free. You can't get out of your slavery. But the Son has the power and the authority to make you free. You think about the cultural context of that during Jesus' time, just how much power the Son had within the family. It must have been really good if he had really great if he had the power to dismiss slaves, dismiss servants from their enslavement or their enslavement. So how does the Lord set us free? One way definitely is just by his word and his power and his command, like Jesus does so many times in especially the synoptic gospels of the exorcisms and commanding the evil spirit to come out of him. But also his example, his actions, meditation on the words and actions of Jesus, especially on his passion and death, of how Jesus sees beyond the worldly goods. It's one of the parts of today's reading, how the Pharisees, how his opponents live in this world. All they know is the things of this world, acquiring power, acquiring possessions, that, these are the things, honor, seeking their own honor and their own glory. These are the things that they care about, but these are also the things that control their lives. So much so, they have so much control of their lives that they're not able to see the signs that Jesus is doing right in front of them. Remember, the overall context of all this is they know that Jesus gave a crippled man for 38 years the power, the ability to rise up and to walk just by his word and his command. And they're not able to see that because their master is their passions. Their master is their anger. Their master is their pride, their glory that they're seeking. That's their master. And that's who they owe their allegiance to. And no matter what Jesus does, even as Jesus says in other parts of the gospel, they won't believe even if they see someone rise from the dead. Even as they witness that, they're so enslaved and so caught up in the things of this world, they can't see Jesus. And so hopefully we can move beyond that. There's more to seek in this world, and there's another master who we serve, a master whose son came and laid down his lives for our own sake. When we're caught up in sin, meditate on that. Meditate on the cross and the power of the Son who can truly set us free. May God bless you.